as week 2 of NFL free agency is starting to come to an end, the Detroit Lions, it looks like for the most part, are pretty much done signing players from other teams. They have not signed a player from another team since Kenny Yeboah almost four or 5 days ago. But the Detroit Lions have decided to bring back a lot of players of their own. They have now made a roster move every single day besides yesterday, I believe. And this news that came out today, I'm very happy about. And you know I'm very happy about this if you watch my videos. But I'm like, why are the Lions taking so long to bring this guy back? It didn't make any sense, but they finally brought him back. According to Adam Schefter coming out, Lions are re-signing defensive end Al-Quadin Muhammad to a one-year deal per agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey. So Muhammad is back on a one-year deal. Contract details aren't out. Spotrac had his projected market value at $2.5 million. I expect it to be around that, maybe a little bit cheaper than that. Probably around $1.82 million is what I expected to be around. Kind of like what the Grant Stuard type deal was. And speaking of Grant Stuard, his contract details came out a couple of days ago. So why don't we pull that up since we're speaking about it, if I can find it. There it is. This is according to Aaron Wilson. He's always the one who puts out the contract details first. Lions Grant Stuard is a one-year, $1.7 million deal with fully guaranteed for skill, injury, and cap. So the 1.7 is fully guaranteed with 3.5 $1,000 signing bonus, 1.35 million salary, fully guaranteed. So pretty simple contract there. So essentially, it's a 1.7 million deal, fully guaranteed. If he gets hurt, whatever, it's fully guaranteed with a $350,000 signing bonus. Pretty good deal. That's kind of what I expected him to get. A little bit less than $2 million. So probably for sure the Jiro and Reese-Maybin replacement. We saved just less than $2 million by cutting Jiro and Reese-Maybin, and we almost gave Grant Stuard almost $2 million. So I believe he is the Jiro Reese-Maybin replacement. Now, since we're talking about deals here, Roy Lopez's deal also came out. Again, according to Aaron Wilson. I don't know what I just did. Okay, there we go. We're still live. Roy Lopez's deal. It's a one-year, $3.5 million fully guaranteed for skill, injury base value, salary cap, $2 million signing bonus, salary of $1.33 fully guaranteed, $10,000 per game active roster bonus guaranteed for injury only, plus $1.15 million playtime, sacks, playoffs, incentives. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that's just if we make the playoffs or sacks in the playoffs or how many snaps he plays in the playoffs. I don't understand what that really means. I'm assuming, again, that's mainly just if we make the playoffs, but I really have no clue. I'm interested to see what the sacks are, if it's just a couple of sacks or what. So it's a one-year, $3.5 million deal, fully guaranteed, with up to 3.75. From what I'm reading this, it's a $3.5 million deal, fully guaranteed, to just sum it up with a $2 million signing bonus. So it's a pretty good deal there. Fully guaranteed is interesting to say the least. I'm assuming he's going to get a lot of playing time, like I said. But those are the contract details that have come out that I've seen at least. Of course, we haven't got contract details for other guys as well. Tim Patrick, I don't think we've gotten his contract details at all yet. Should be getting those probably any day now. But those also came out. And we've also made a couple of other roster moves since as well. Our most latest signing being, this happened like immediately after I released the free agents who were still available, according to the Lions. The Lions have re-signed linebacker slash defensive end Mitchell Agude. I don't know how to feel about this one. He's a practice squad guy. I'm going to be honest, from what I've seen in the preseason of him, haven't really liked what I've seen. He's too inconsistent getting to the quarterback, and he doesn't get to the quarterback enough to counteract that. He did play a couple games during the regular season, did have a forced fumble, didn't have any sacks, though. He's a great special teamer, but in terms of the defensive side of the ball, not much there for rushing the passer. He's a decent tackler, but he's very limited in coverage and especially very limited at rushing the passer. So this move, in my opinion, is just a training camp body 90-man roster guy to compete to potentially make a practice squad, maybe squeak on a 53-man roster, but most likely this is just a practice squad re-signing, in my opinion. If this guy makes the 53-man roster, right now we have a problem. That just says how bad our defensive line is. Also, not really Lions news, but This came out from Jeremy Fowler a couple of days ago, immediately after I released my Aziz or the best free agents available video. Uh, Pass rusher Aziz Ojulari is signing with the Eagles on a one-year, $4 million deal. Ojulari, who had 6 sacks last year, stays in NFC East with the Super Bowl champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. I literally lost my mind when I saw this. $4 million. Obviously, the contract details haven't come out yet, quite yet. But $4 million base value? Are you kidding me? I was like, I literally lost my mind when I saw that. And I'm still really mad about it. Aziz Ojulari, he's not a number one edge rusher, but like I said, I think he has the potential to be a great edge too. There is inconsistency rushing the passer. Sometimes he just gets squeaky sacks and stuff like that really he didn't do a lot of part of it, getting to the quarterback and just brought him down. But there's also a lot of potential there. So once I saw this, kind of lost my mind, and I'm still losing my mind about it. But the fact that we brought back Quadin Muhammad eases it a little bit. But there's literally no pass rush available that I'm going to be happy with the Detroit Lions signing. If we get Von Miller, cool. If we get Preston Smith, cool. If we get Matt Judon, fine. If we get, I don't even know who's out, DeMarcus Walker, jumping out of my seat. DeMarcus Walker would be an equivalent right now to re-signing Zadarius Smith. And I am not a big fan of DeMarcus Walker. Bring back Zadarius Smith, that'd probably be the most happiest I've been, because right now I don't understand. It still doesn't make sense why we released him. Also, I mean, kind of Lions news, but not really. Not really. Doesn't matter regardless, really. But this is according to Howard Glazer. The New Orleans Saints have signed unrestricted free agent defensive end Jonah Williams. This came out a couple of days ago. Jonah Williams, he did not look good at all when in the 3 or 4 games he played for the Lions this past season. Didn't have a sack, didn't have anything. But even taking out the statistics, you watch the tape, he was not good. Not good in the run game, not good in the pass game, not good in tackling. He was just not good. He's also on the older side as well. I believe he's 30. I believe he's turning 30 years old this offseason, which actually is the age that Quadin Muhammad is also turning in about a week. It's crazy because Muhammad, it seems like to me, he's only like 25 years old, but he's turning 30 in a week. So, happy birthday to Quadin Muhammad. But Jonah Williams is also on the older side, so this one I really don't care about. I didn't really want us to bring him back anyway. Is what it is. We poached him off the Rams practice squad during the middle of the season. So it is what it is. I'm curious why the Saints are taking a risk on him because he was not good at all for us this past season. We got a couple of other Lions news as well here. This came out yesterday. This was the only Lions news we got yesterday, I believe. And that was from Jordan Schultz's former Bills tight end Quentin Morris is visiting the Lions yesterday. Terrific blocking tight end who also caught 3 touchdowns during his tenure in Buffalo. This was a receiver in college who turned to tight end, I believe, his sophomore season. And it's crazy enough because he was horrible blocking in college, and he's actually counteracted that in the NFL. He is 100% a blocking tight end now in the NFL. Can produce some receiving in there, but he's more blocking tight end. I don't expect us to sign this guy because right after this news came out, like literally right after this news came out, we actually did make a move yesterday, and that was re-signing tight end Shane Zylstra. Now, Shane Zylstra, this one also surprised me because we let him hit free agency. He was a restricted free agent, which means the Lions could have made him an offer, and no, they decided not to. They decided to let him hit free agency, and so I didn't expect him to come back, but that news came out immediately after this post came out, so I'm assuming they already met with Quentin Morris, and they're just like, nah, we don't really need to bring this guy in, so let's just make sure we have another tight end on the roster, so we'll just re-sign Zylstra. I'm fine with that. Quentin Morris, I was actually taking a big look at when we played Buffalo as a potential free agent the upcoming offseason. I thought he was very solid in Buffalo before that. He was the tight end 3 for the Bills behind Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. But if we do end up signing Quentin Morris, like I said, I highly doubt we sign him. We have 4 tight ends on the roster right now. Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Kenny Yeboah, and Shane Zylstra. It looks like we have like 3 or 4 tight ends competing for the tight end 3 spot. I'm assuming we'll draft a guy with one of our 7th round picks, or get a UDFA, or maybe sign another tight end free agency. I don't know. Not a lot of tight ends are available. There's some old tight ends that are still available in free agency. Ian Thomas, Jordan Akins, Hayden Hurst. There's a couple of guys out there that could be interesting, but not guys that I expect us to sign. And the last piece of news that came out, this came out yesterday, kind of a little bit of, you can call it big news, but you also don't have to. Lions have re-signed defensive tackle Pat O'Connor, or defensive lineman, defensive end, whatever you want to call him. He is more of a defensive tackle, in my opinion. In preseason, he was playing as a defensive end. I didn't think he looked good at all. Was decent in the run game, but in terms of rushing the passer game, he was not good at all, in my opinion. And he played defensive tackle for us during the regular season. He was actually playing nose tackle for us from all our injuries we had. He was on the field a lot as well. He had 1.5 sacks on the season. I like this signing a lot. He's on the older side. I believe he's 31 years old, be turning 32 this offseason. Again, probably just a guy to compete for a 53-man spot or a practice squad. This guy is not... None of these signings that we made are going to be a lot to make the 53-man roster. I definitely think Agude Muhammad has the best chance to make the 53-man roster, and I do already have him make the 53-man roster. Because if you look at it, we only really have 3 designated defensive ends right now. Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, and Agude Muhammad. That's it. Mitchell Agude is a linebacker slash defensive end, not good at rushing the passer. Josh Paschal, great in the run game, sucks at rushing the passer. I'm sorry. You saw some glimpses of it, but he doesn't have the burst off the line, doesn't have enough moves to get around the guy. He's just going to bull through you, which is way too inconsistent. He's not a good rushing the passer guy. So we really only have 3 designated defensive ends. And, I mean, you can even take Agude Muhammad out there. He's undersized. He's only like 250 pounds. So we need more defensive ends. We need to draft 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 defensive ends in the draft. No question about it. You can eliminate one of those guys, so we only need about 6 guys since we brought back Agude Muhammad. But again, none of these players, in my opinion, are going to legitimately be a 53-man roster guy besides Agude Muhammad. But I like all these moves for the most part. Mitchell Agude, I'm still trying to figure out why we brought him back besides just for depth purposes. But the Lions still got to make a lot more moves. Now, I'm trying to think of all the free agents that the Lions have not either brought back or have not signed with another team. And I'm trying to, off the top of my head, John Kaminsky's still out there. Emmanuel Mosley's still out there. Connor Galvin's still out there. Allen Robinson is still out there. Kyle Pecco is still out there. Ben Neiman's still out there. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 more. Michael Badgley's still out there. Kayo Losika is still out there. I think there's 1 more. I don't know who it is. Khalil Dorsey, I think that might be it. Khalil Dorsey is still out there. I believe that's all the guys that are still remaining for Lions free agents. I might be missing 1 more. Leave it in the comments who I'm missing if I am missing 1 more. But out of those guys, I'm comfortable with not bringing back anybody else. I don't think the Lions are going to bring back John Kaminsky since they brought back Pat O'Connor, Mitchell Agude, and Agude Muhammad. It just didn't really make sense, in my opinion, to bring him back now. Kind of plays a similar role as Pat O'Connor, so I just don't expect him to be back. And Pat O'Connor's on the same level as him, so I think John Kaminsky's time as a Detroit Lions unfortunately come to an end. If we bring back Emmanuel Mosley, by the way, that would be hilarious. Marcus Davenport and Emmanuel Mosley brought back once again. That would be awesome. But none of those guys I want to bring back, really. I'd like to bring Allen Robinson back. I've said this multiple times. One of my favorite receivers of all time. But I'd be shocked if he came back. He would only be back to be a training camp, practice squad body, in my opinion. Maybe if we keep 6 wide receivers, which I highly doubt he could compete to be wide receiver 6. But, I mean, he could be back as wide receiver 4 after the draft if we don't attack anybody. But I expect us to draft somebody or sign a different player in free agency to be wide receiver 4. So, leave thoughts in the comments down below. That's all the Lions news that we've had from the past couple of days. There'll probably be another video coming out here in a couple of days going off for more roster moves if he made any. But for now, one pride, go Lions.